Welcome to Off-Grid News, the news that's not fit to print. The U.S. Army creates a single vaccine against all virus and SARS variants. Walter Reed Army Institute of Research is expected to announce they have developed a vaccine that is effective against the virus and all its variants. The achievement is the result of 2 years of hard work. The human trials took longer than expected because they needed to test the new vaccine on people who had not received the current vaccine or had not already been infected. When the CEO of Big Pharma was asked about this amazing technology, he said, "Oh no, no, not gonna happen. The White House has already promised they would be stopped by the Army." FDA expected to authorize Pfizer and Merck virus pills this week. These two medications would be the first at-home treatments for the virus. The U.S. has already ordered 13 million courses of medication so far. These medications are intended for higher risk people who test positive for the virus and could ease burden on stretched hospitals. When asked about the Army's cure, they said, "Where's the money in that? Only sick people spend money on medicine. They don't send money if there's cure. Geez, use some common sense." President Biden is getting less done than the voters expected, according to a new poll. In a separate poll released, shows Biden's approval at the lowest point of his presidency. He says, "I'm not worried because I'm not going to run for the re-election." Then he places his hand over his ear, pauses, then whispers, "Are you crazy?" Then looks back at the reporter and says, "They're telling me I'm running again." A Utah college student went missing last week, was found alive and covered in coal inside the basement of a 39-year-old suspect. He was arrested on obstruction of justice, aggravated kidnapping, and assault on an adult. The 19-year-old was a reported missing December 13th. The police were able to trace her phone to a town and then went door to door looking for her. They looked through a basement window on one residence and saw a small, figured person. When they knocked on the door, the occupant said he was alone. They later searched the place and found the student in a coal bin. When asked why he put her in a coal bin, the intellectually challenged suspect said, "Why would cops look in a coal bin? They're just so stupid." For the second time in a year, New York Democrat has been arrested on cocaine possession. The lawmaker was arrested this month for possession and intoxicated driving charges, making it the second Democrat politician in New York to be charged with possession this year. The lawmaker refuses to resign his seat and will plead not guilty. Supporters of the lawmaker said they don't care what he did wrong. At least he's not Trump. Confused at the supporter's response, he informed the supporter that Trump was a president, not a lawmaker. The supporter sucked up a white substance in her nose and said, "Stop making these questions so hard." Kyle Rittenhouse warns media accountability coming soon. The media could be facing big consequences for the way they covered Kyle Rittenhouse's trial, the 18-year-old indicated. Fox News asked him whether he thought a trend was developing in which the media was starting to face consequences for people like him and Nick Sandmann. Sandmann recently settled with a major network of coverage of his viral video of his confrontation with a protester. CNN said, "We don't care if he sues. We're CNN, the most trusted source of news. It doesn't matter if we lie or not. We're trusted. Did you hear me? We're trusted." South African doctor who was one of the first to treat Omicron told CNN they have a decrease on Omicron cases where it was first detected. While they did see a rise in cases, they did not see a rise in death. What they are currently seeing is they are already over the curve, despite an increase in testing. CNN responded to the doctor by saying in a one-part harmony, "Liar, liar, pants on fire, liar, liar, your nose is longer than a telephone wire." Nancy Pelosi unveils her plans to commemorate the worst attack in American history. She will hold a prayer vigil, having a panel and historians for discussion and reflection. Already preparations are underway for a full program of events. She said the attack on the nation's capital, where 5 people died, should never be forgotten. One reporter asked her, "Isn't 9/11 the worst attack in American history, followed by Pearl Harbor?" She ran down the steps, yelling, "Shut up, shut up," grabbed him by his ear, sat in his chair, put him over her knee, and spanked him. Then had him rushed out of the room into the bathroom where he was washed out his mouth with soap. President Biden administration was directed by the Supreme Court to reply to a flurry of fresh challenges to its private employer vaccine mandate. The justices told the administration to file a response to the applications from faith groups, companies, and attorney generals from over half the states in the country. The administration expressed confusion over the court's order. These complaints come from red states and Christian groups. Since they don't vote correctly, they don't get the right to sue us. Bette Midler blasts poor people and drug addicts as she insulted Senator Joe Manchin for voting against Biden's massive spending bill. But instead of just attacking the senator, she attacked the entire state of West Virginia. While taking aim at the public official is one thing, but beating up on the struggles of West Virginians is distastefully hitting below the belt. Elon Musk replied, "She's still alive?" Siri, Apple's iconic AI virtual assistant, appeared not to be satisfied with Senator Ted Cruz's attack on big tech. While he sat down with Fox News for an interview, he was speaking, "Big tech, they are hard left. Not just Democrats, they are left of the Democrats. And they're trying to drive the Democrats left. And listen, I'm someone who believes in free speech." "Something went wrong, please try again," Siri interrupted from inside Cruz's pocket. "Well, see, big tech is getting mad," Cruz quipped while holding his iPhone. "I'm actually happy Siri got mad. Sorry, Siri," he said jokingly. California Senate Bill SB 2 states if law enforcement officials are convicted of serious misconduct like excessive force, dishonesty, and assault, they could, not will, have their badges revoked. Off-Grid News submitted changes to this bill to simplify it. SB 2 states nothing changed in law enforcement discipline. A Washington, D.C. radio station took $4.4 million from Chinese Communistic Party over the past 2 years to broadcast propaganda shining the CCP in a good, positive light. The company was forced to disclose this information to the Justice Department as a result of the Foreign Agents Registration Act. American communists sent a letter to the radio station scolding them for taking money for their actions. If you would have done it for free, you wouldn't have never gotten caught. They sent a second letter to the NPR stating they must take over the radio station and turn it into a state-run news channel. Then it can run CCP propaganda without government oversight. Beginning January 15th, 2022, Boston will require proof of vaccines to enter indoor areas. The passport will begin with those 12 years of age and up. Mayor Wu said, "This is an exciting time for Bostonians. You now get to enjoy my gracious gift of being my servant. Enjoy, my peasants." The coalition of Do Whatever You Want stations throughout the Midwest stated, "What is wrong with these people?" Scientists just noticed a black hole spontaneously developed next to our sun, which is turning time and space inside out. The discovery was made when Trump said he was surprised and appreciative that Biden thanked him for their success in making the vaccine available. To confirm the find, scientists from the Midwest took to YouTube to replay Biden's speech where, in fact, Biden did say, thanks to the prior administration and scientist community, America is one of the first countries to get the vaccine. Scientists predict the black hole will swallow Earth before the next presidential election. Missouri Attorney General announced that it received a court order blocking the federal vaccine mandate. Therefore, the mandate will not be enforced in Missouri. One Missourian said, "Man, this is great. Missouri's getting where it's pushing back more than Florida and Texas combined." Chicago's Mayor Lightfoot is asking the Attorney General to send ATF agents to Chicago for 6 months after Chicago hit a 25-year high in murders. This after the mayor proposed slashing $80 million from the city's police department, and its 180 turn after Trump offered to help her. She said in a very strongly worded letter, "Please stop with the rhetoric and find the moral courage to simply support the needed actions." She went on to say, with guns flooding into the city, she has no choice but to ask the government for help. Because as we know, those violent guns walk around this city just looking for its next victim. To those who have never seen one, they're a scary piece of metal, and some of them have laser beams coming from their eyes. Other residents in Illinois foolishly thought the record high crime rate was because of her defund the police policy. Oops. Superman blasts Biden and comes out in support of Joe Manchin. Oh wait, that's not right. Here it is. Actor Dean Cain, who played Superman, tweeted, "She thinks she's better than all of you," in response to a critical tweet aimed at West Virginia citizens from Hocus Pocus actress Bette Midler. When asked, one West Virginia resident said, "Superman is always out for the truth, justice, and the American way. Witches are just mean and ugly." Former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin said it would be over her dead body that she receives the vaccine. The 2008 Republican vice presidential nominee told Turning Point USA. When asked about her statement, one Palin supporter said, "Wow, she's still hot. And did you hear? She's divorced now." The White House announced it's deploying military medical forces to hospitals around the country to help combat the Omicron variant. One Midwest hospital chief of staff doctor said, "Not sure what good it's going to do. Once Biden forces hospitals to fire medical staff because they're not vaccinated, the guy just seems to take one step forward and two steps back." During his speech, Biden detailed a plan to purchase and distribute 500 million vaccine tests amid large shortages. CNN reporter surprisingly asked whether this would qualify as a failure on the administration's part to adequately prepare for the latest variant. Biden said, No, it's not. I don't think anyone would have anticipated how fast this virus would spread." Biden added, "It's like everyone rushed out to the counter. There was a big rush, and I knew that it was coming," leaving some to wonder, if no one saw it coming, how did he know it was coming? And why didn't he do something about it since he knew? Dr. Fauci said he is considering loosening isolation period for vaccinated healthcare workers who test positive but show no symptoms. Supporters of the decision said it's much better catching the virus from a vaccinated person than from a cootie-infested, yucky, unvaccinated person. National Center for Health Statistics said that life expectancy in 2020 is 77 years old. This is down from 1.8 from 2019. Big Pharma replied, "Whew, we were expecting much worse." Omicron comes with symptoms that only come at night. Cough, fatigue, congestion, runny nose were the top 4 symptoms when the CDC released the Omicron variant's first briefing on the symptoms of early cases. "Man, I hate it when I get the cold. Too sick to want to go to work and not sick enough to stay home," said one patient as he asked his wife for some NyQuil. General Flynn filed a restraining order on Nancy Pelosi. Flynn, who served under Trump as a national security advisor, when asked why he filed for one, he said, "Really? Have you seen her? I mean, really? She just whipped a reporter and made him wash his mouth out with soap." So that's all the news that's not fit to print. Click subscribe for more updates. Thanks for watching.